Hi guys, we are living out of the norm. We are trying to make this video about this machine right over here. It's a interlocking complex earth block machine. We got it from China 3 years ago or so, and we have not played as much, but we just gonna talk about it more in depth of what we see. What do you think?
Yeah, so if you're new to the channel, about 3 years ago we bought 40 acres out in the middle of nowhere and had this wild hair that we're going to do an interconnecting earth block house, which is the reason that we brought this in. Like she said, we've had it for a while and we've ran it twice. We're going to go through on this video and kind of answer some questions that we got. We went to an off-grid expo not too long ago, and we brought a few of our bricks with us, and it was received really well. So we're just trying to cover some of the questions, the common questions that we keep asking, and that's what this video is going to be about. So let's start with the basics. The overall process of how this is supposed to work is you mix your soil mixture, and it dumps in this top part right here, which is called the hopper, right? So you dump the soil in here, and then this section right here is the compression chamber. And you're using this, which is a predetermined amount of dirt, to go into the block. So you slide it this way, the dirt that you dumped in the hopper will dump down in here. You slide it back, and now you would have dirt in here. At that point, you close this and lock it. You close it and lock it. And then you run this lever, which hydraulically presses the brick. Then you would open it back up again. Run it again, and it'll push the bricks up the top. You set them to the side, they cure, bada boom, you have bricks for your house. So with all that said, we've only run this machine twice, so we haven't ironed out all the kinks. So I'm sure there's a bunch of things that are going to go wrong, and we're going to bring you along to see as we work through those issues. Not in this video, but in other videos. So this specific machine that we ordered is available in gas, diesel, 220, and 110 electric. We chose the 110 electric because we knew that we would have solar and it would have less moving parts that we have to maintain. And that is the reason that we chose to do the 110. 30 amp is supposedly what this thing draws.
And we had to make this cable.
Yeah, it came with just a cover over there, which you can see there's a couple capacitors and some electronics in there. I had to connect that up. At some point, I've got the stuff to cover it. I just haven't because we've only tested it a couple times and I was unsure. So I do plan on covering that. So when we ordered this machine from the company in China, I talked back and forth on the different types of bricks, and this machine was supposed to come to us with an interchangeable mold pattern. However, it didn't. It only came with this specific pattern that's in it, and I'll show you the brick here in a little bit and what it looks like. So it came with this pattern, and then it came with a plate that slides down in between that gives you the ability to make a half brick on this side, right? And then it also came with this mold that replaces the top mold right here can be replaced, and by putting this in, it gives you this cavity right here that allows you to do a bond beam as you go up higher, which gives you more structure in your wall if you're doing a long flat wall. But back to my original point, this was supposed to come with a different or interchangeable mold. It absolutely is not. So we are stuck using this kind of a brick right here, which is what it actually, this is a brick that was made the second time we used the machine with some topsoil and a little bit of cement mixed in it. I will also say on the mold, one thing that was supposed to happen is if you see this square in the middle, right? These holes in this square are made to be able to use either rebar through it for structure, or you can run utilities through it or whatever. But the problem is this square in the middle is kind of pointless, because when you stack the bricks, it would have to have a little square here, which it does not. So I think they messed up in the mold and didn't put that in when they should have. It hasn't bothered me because everything that we're going to do is going to go through the round holes anyway, but I figured I would point it out. Let's talk about size. So this brick, this is a brick that we made. It should be about, if we measure it, so it's on the metric side because we got it from China. It's on the metric. So it's classified as a 30 centimeter long brick, which is a little bit short. I'm assuming that has to do with the space that's in between when you set them, but essentially one brick's footprint should be 300 millimeters or 30 centimeters. And then width should be half of that. So this should be 15 centimeters going from one side to the other, which it is. About 15 centimeters or 150 millimeters. And then the height of it is just a little bit shorter than 15, and it measures somewhere around like just over 11 and a half. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, you're right. This is a grown-up's Lego.
So one question we had was how much dirt to make 2 blocks?
How much dirt to make 2 blocks? We don't actually 100% know, but what I can say is that this space right here is the amount of dirt that it takes to make the 2 blocks by the time it's compressed. So when we've made it, we didn't exactly measure it, but we think somewhere around 1.5 buckets to 2 buckets is going to make somewhere around like 6 bricks.
How much hydraulic fluid do you need for this?
This thing takes like 2 or 3 gallons of hydraulic fluid. If you come down here, you'll see this is the gauge, but this whole tank is hydraulic fluid in it.
This whole thing?
Yep, so I think it's 2 or 3 gallons is what I put in there. I may have put a 5-gallon thing in there. I just don't remember because it was a while ago.
How fast can you make 2 blocks from start?
So I think that's a little bit of a trick question, because in a minute I'll turn it on and I'll run it top to bottom and back, and we'll go through the motions with no dirt in there. But it's not how fast this machine can move, it's how fast you can get dirt prepared and in this hopper. So if you had a team that was sifting the dirt, a team that was mixing the dirt, and a team that was dumping it in here, and then probably another team that's helping you move the bricks off, then you could probably make bricks in a matter of seconds. But you would have to have your assembly line down pat to be able to do that. And we are 2 people, so I'm sure that's not going to happen for us. But this will give you an idea how long it takes to run it from top to bottom and back. So, in theory, what would happen is you would just fill it down in there, close the lid, what the hell?
Oh, maybe some...
Huh?
Oh, nothing.
I didn't slam it hard enough. So it's locked. Well, did we pop a breaker? What happened?
It just happened
last
time. So we're trying to figure it out if we are over, what is it?
Over current or over voltage? Yep.
Flatline.
Well,
It's dead. So how long is the curing time?
so the curing time on this, as far as we know, is basically going off of what the curing time is for Portland cement, which is, you get like, within 2 hours, you get like 80% of the strength, but 2 weeks of curing gives you 100% of the strength. So when these get popped out, we have to be pretty gentle about putting them down. And that's why you see some of the corners are missing on these, is because it's a learning process on how you pick them up. You have to pick them up just right. And our mix wasn't right. But so after it pops out, you set it down. Within the first 2 hours, you should have 80% strength, and then you have to water it a little bit and get to get 100% strength in 2 weeks.
Other question, do you wet and cover every day till the blocks are cured?
We have not been, because most of the time when we make these blocks is on the last day before we go home. So we end up just making the block and setting them out in the dirt just like you see them now. The proper way, again, we're back to the whole Portland cement thing, is you're supposed to wet through those 2 weeks to get to 100% curing. You're supposed to wet them a little bit every day. So I think that's something we will do in the future. It's not something we're doing now.
Talk about the pros about this machine. We think this machine could operate by one person and be able to create those blocks. It's gonna definitely take a long time versus having it 10-man operation.
But
by
a single person could make
it. And cost-effective building a house in the long run, you would say?
You really, because all you're doing is, instead of paying for 100% of your material, you're now only paying for the material that, basically you're only paying for the cement. 10% cement that you're putting it in there, which should be fairly negligible.
And it's better for environment. It's not baked bricks like traditional.
And it doesn't have to have all the extra transportation costs to move the bricks from one place to the other and all that as well.
And thermal mass.
Yeah, thermal mass.
It's like
rammed earth.
Right. Hopefully we don't have to go to that route.
Yeah, if we do, we do. If we fail on this, then hey, we're going to rammed earth. But
yeah. Well, at least we try, right?
Yeah, we're gonna try.
And it's a soundproof.
It should be fairly sound.
Yeah, that's one thing about it bothers me right at this moment, is that living in a trailer or staying in a trailer, and when it's windy and noisy. So it's just really like eerie for sure. So having this house made by these blocks, I think it's gonna be pretty nice and quiet, give you a peace.
Of course, haven't you heard of the 3 little pigs? You're safe and sound in a brick house.
Yep. And fireproof. There's no element to catch
nothing to burn.
Right. Bug proof. Yep. So that we have an issue with termite in this area. So if we have the house sealed right, I think we should be pretty bug proof, bulletproof.
Yeah, we gotta ask whether or not we've done a ballistic test or have actually shot one to see if it's bulletproof or not. We have not done that, but it sounds really fun, so I'm sure
we would love to do it. Yes, for sure. Potential revenue in the future. Yeah, when we went to Expo, a lot of people are asking how much are we selling blocks for, or are you doing this for business, or we are trying to just build a house our own, but seems like a lot of people are interested in it. And if this production works the way it should work, it might be a good business too. And my thing is definitely, I think, getting attention, viewers like you guys on the YouTube, because not very many people in US are doing this with this kind of particular machine. Probably people are too embarrassed to even show it because they fail big time and they don't want to show it. Who knows? But
that's all right. If we fail, we fail.
Yeah, we fail. We fail. But you guys can see that. So yeah, definitely getting attention. And thank you so much for watching our channel. And how about the cons about this machine? I think you said initial cost. Even though it was a lot cheaper than buying it here in the US, but still cost several $1,000s to get this.
$6,000-$7,000.
And the soil mixture. Now we are trying to figure it out, the just right mixture for this brick making or block making. We wanna call it block, right? Earth block. I have been looking at internet and a lot of people say 20% clay makes it perfect blocks. And it seems like ours doesn't have that much of the clay, unfortunately. A lot of people in this county, a lot of people having clay, but somehow where we are at is more rock and sand. So I'm just upping the cement percentage makes it doable, right? I mean, I think it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, people say that it's a carbon footprint using a cement is not good, but if that's the only thing we are doing bad, it's not that bad. What else? It's definitely labor intensive. What do you say? Yep. Yeah, like this machine, everything's automatic, but
stuff like this door is so heavy because this is pure steel.
Everything
all of these pieces are solid steel on these arms and everything, so it does take a good amount of me like pulling on it, yanking to get it to open and close.
Yeah, so I don't think I can really do it. Like, and also this is on the pallet, the wooden pallet right at this moment. And once we have production going, we have to have a stationary location, but currently it have to come out from shipping container while we operate this machine. So we have to have a skid steer to take it out, put it down. So
we've been using the skid steer as a forklift to put this in and out of the shipping container.
Yeah, so you know, without the heavy machinery, it's kind of hard to get the operation that smooth. And then like I have Eric, so he always do the troubleshooting. For me, like woman wants to get something like this, well, I shouldn't have say woman. The people don't have that much knowledge on electric or machineries or operating skid steers or anything like that. This is not something you buy and hoping you can operate, because it's definitely for me it's kind of impossible to operate on my own.
To piggyback on top of that, a perfect example of having to troubleshoot this is the electric issue that we have going on right now. We're going to have to figure out whether or not we need to, or actually we need to figure out whatever we need to do to get this to work. So otherwise this is one big heavy paperweight, which I'm not ready to accept defeat yet. So the video didn't go as smooth as I wanted it to, but I think we've got enough information for what we know about this machine and where we're at. So hopefully you guys stuck with it till the end. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the love and support we've got from the channel and from the people around the community. So thank you again, and look forward to seeing the fixes and the next videos and questions and answers coming out from this.
Yes, thank you. Have a good day.